Hello there everyone, thanks again for tuning in, and hopefully I'm going to give you another informative video today. The video today is going to be about me showing you about my dual battery setup, which is a lithium setup again. It's in my Ford Ranger. It's the 2016 model. So I hope you enjoy, guys. Keep watching and let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so here we go. Here's my dual battery setup. Now I bought the Nomad PDU version 5. I'll pop it up on the screen for you so you can see what I'm saying, so it all makes sense. Now this thing, at the time when I bought it, cost me $1,200. Now that was including the DC to DC charging wiring setup, so you can fully set it up yourself if you're that way inclined. I wasn't too confident, so I took it to an auto electrician and paid another extra $200 or $300 for him to wire it all in for me. But today, I've had this now for probably about 5 months, and it has not skipped a beat. Now I've just had a look on Google, and you can purchase these at the moment from eBay for $800. So you can have a full lithium setup, dual battery setup in your car for less than $1,000. All you've got to make sure you do is you just purchase the DC to DC charger wiring setup as well, which basically comes with all the wiring, so you can set it up from your main battery with the fuses. Comes with a whole kit, so you can do it all yourself. I actually purchased 2 DC chargers, as you can see just right there. Now they're only 10 amp each, so I can put a maximum of 25 amps into this charger at one time. So I purchased 2 DC chargers because they're only 10 amp each. Now you can actually go onto his website as well. I will leave a link in the description below, which will take you straight to YouTube and take you to his channel, which is Nomad PDU or renewablebiz.com.au. So yeah, have a look at him. If you definitely want to look at buying one of these, I highly recommend it. And you want some questions, I'm happy to answer any, but if you want to get better info, just go straight to his YouTube channel or straight to the website, and all the questions that people have been asking are on, and the answers that he's given are on there as well. But yeah guys, you can't beat it for the price, seriously. Now I predominantly bought this dual battery setup just to power my fridge. Now this is a 60 litre ARB Elements fridge. And this thing sits at 5 degrees. Now I'm basically going to do a test for you guys, whereby I'm not going to have it plugged into my DC charger. It's basically at full charge at the minute, and I'm just going to run it for as long as I can. Now when I first bought this, the longest I got was 8 days, which was amazing. Okay, so with my setup at the moment, as you can see there, I've just got it in its original box that it came in. And the reason why I've done that is because I don't really have a way of securing it. And as you can see inside the box, it's got that sort of foam insert in there, and that's kind of giving it a bit more security and less vibration in the car while I'm traveling. Now I've just anchored it, basically it doesn't move anywhere, and that suits my needs at the moment. I'd love to obviously have it fixed in properly, but I'm not really able to do that. But yeah, it definitely works for me anyway, just sitting like that, and I've had no dramas with it. Right, so what I'm going to do guys is I'm going to I'll switch it on for you. So it's currently at 12.6 volts. Now I'm pretty sure 12.6 volts is at its maximum capacity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually unplug it, and I'm going to monitor this for the next how many days until this thing switches itself off. Now my fridge runs at 5 degrees, which I've found is pretty cool for me. We basically just have our beers in there, our water in there, and often put food in there when we're going out on day trips, and it seems to keep everything cool and nice as we like it. So here we go. Now what I'll do, I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to show you the same time every day, but I'm definitely going to show you the date. So today, is the 9th of February. It's currently 12:47 p.m. and then I'll show you tomorrow, and then the next day, and so forth. And I'll show you how long this battery takes to before it runs flat. So let's unplug that DC to DC charger because I don't need it. So it's not going to charge from my vehicle. Sorry, they're a bit stiff. There we go. So that's unplugged from my DC to DC charger in my car. I will leave that there and I will let that run for as long as it can, just to prove to you guys out there, everybody out there, that this can last up to 8 days. Now I am in Victoria at the minute. We're going to be crossing over into South Australia in the next couple of days. So the heat is varied at the moment, anything from a low of maybe 15 all the way up to a high of, you know, could even reach up to 40 degrees. It's so fluctuated, the temperatures here in Victoria and South Australia. So yeah, let's see how good this thing can go and prove to you guys that it does actually last that long without me just telling you that it lasts that long. All right guys, keep watching. Alrighty everyone, so the date today is the 10th of February. This is basically day 2, so it's been on for 24 hours now. It's now 1:12 p.m. but as you can see, 24 hours later it's gone to 12.0 volts. So yesterday it was at 12.6 volts. It's now gone down to 12 volts. Now don't forget, obviously I had it out in the sun for quite a while yesterday, so that's why it's probably dropped quite a bit already. So let's just keep an eye on it. Today is the February the 11th, so we're on pretty much 48 hours at the moment, almost. It's down to 11.9. Today is the 12th of Feb, 1350 hours. And currently at 11.7%. 13th of February and 12:27 p.m. Let's switch on battery system. Let's see what we're at. 11.5. Alrighty, the date today is 14th of Feb at 17:30. I'm a little bit late today. Sorry guys. So this is day 5. Let's switch her on. See where we're at. So 11.1. Alrighty peeps, we're on day 6, 15th of February, 12:44 p.m. Let's have a look and see what percentage we're on today. Alrighty, oh, she's gone down a little. Well, it was 11.1 I think yesterday. So 10.7 today. Day 6, 10.7, and as you can see, it's actually cut in. So I've come out at the right time. 4.9 amps. Day 6. See you tomorrow. Alrighty, we're on day 7, February the 16th. I think it's 3:30 p.m. Let's switch her on. $10.5. Day 7, 10.5. Okay, so the date today is the 17th of February. We are on day 8. It's only 11 a.m. Just before I forget. So we're down to 10.2. Day 8, 10.2 guys, there you go. 8 days in, pretty much. I'm on 10.2. So I wasn't lying, 8 days in, and this thing has lasted that long. So there you go, that's why I mentioned that this thing is pretty much a great system to buy. Pretty sure there won't be too many systems out there that can last 8 days powering a fridge, a 60-litre fridge. Now the good thing about this as well is that it is portable. You can actually obviously take this out of the vehicle if you wish to do so, take it down to the beach, take it to a tent, wherever you want to take it, and you can power anything from there. Now it does have basically 2 SIG sockets. Sorry, I'm hoping that's not too bright with that sun. 2 SIG sockets, an angle socket, and then 2 USB sockets there. As you can see, they're 1 amp and then 2.1 amp 5 volt USB sockets there. So you can charge this via solar panels. Unregulated, you can put in 10 amps. So an unregulated solar panel would be basically solar panel that doesn't have a built-in MPPT charger control panel on there. So if you don't have one of them, you can put it straight onto here to the red, negative and positive terminals there, and it will pump in 10 amps. That's got the built-in MPPT control panel inside there. Now, if you do have a solar panel that has got a MPPT on there, you can actually pump in 25 amps. And this is regulated input here. So a maximum of 25 amps you can pump in there, which is awesome. Because these things barely go down unless you're fully using it to its full potential, like you're charging, you know, maybe 2 or 3 fridges, or you want to charge your cordless devices and you're pumping all them in at once, then yes, obviously it's going to use more power and it will go down quicker. So another good thing about lithium obviously is that you can run this down to 80% depth of discharge, which you can't do with a normal AGM or lead acid battery. So another big advantage for having lithium for your dual battery setup, you can run this down to 80%. You can even run it down to 100%. It's just not highly recommended to do that. 80% is the maximum that they like you to take it down to. Now, they recommend that these are going to get 600 to 800 cycles out of this one little battery. And that's running it down to 80% DOD. So if you come up to 50%, then you could probably have 800 to 1200 cycles, and then so forth if you go up to 80%. But I'm basically only using it to charge my fridge, and I often charge my my drone batteries on there as well. So I'm barely using any charge on this thing at all. So this thing could probably last me a fair while. So when I had this wired in by my auto electrician, he actually put in a voltage sensitive relay to basically, whenever I turn the ignition off on the car, it stops putting charge into the battery, which I highly recommend. Last thing you want to be doing is turning off your car and then the battery is still pumping in power from your main battery in the vehicle. So yeah, definitely get a VSR fitted in there, guys. That way you're not going to come unstuck. Now, the great thing about this as well is that it only weighs 11 kilograms, which is pretty much less than half the weight than an AGM or lead acid battery would weigh. Now this is 100 amp hour, like I just said. Now if you bought, you'd have to buy 2 AGM or lead acid batteries, 100 amps. So you need 200 amps to basically match this thing. So you're going to be carrying basically over 50 kilos to this 11 kilos just to match what this thing can do compared to 2 lead acid or AGM batteries. So that's another big bonus if that's what you're looking for, if weight's an issue for you guys, which it was for me. We're currently towing, if you don't know, we're currently towing a caravan. We're traveling around Australia, so weight has always been a big issue for me, and that's why I went for lithium in the car as well. Now when I watched the YouTube videos on this, the guy actually runs 2 fridges, and then he's bought a pocket inverter. Now that's the only bad thing about this, you can't really put a big inverter on this. So yeah, you can buy a 150 watt or 170 watt pocket inverter which goes straight into the SIG socket here. I don't have one because I don't really need one, but yeah, you can buy them. They're cheap, they're about maybe less than $100. So if you wanted to power something more substantial on there and obviously get a quicker charge, like your laptop or your drone batteries or any sort of camera batteries that you have while you're on the road traveling, then yeah, you can buy a pocket inverter for these. Now at full charge, this is at 12.6 volts. Now the lowest charge on this goes to between 8.4 and 8.8 volts, and that's basically completely dead. So yeah, depending on your fridge as to how long this thing will be. Now I learned that if you want to cheat the system, you can actually use that pocket inverter, plug that in, plug your fridge straight into that pocket inverter, and it'll basically trick this system and it'll run down to 8.8 volts before it cuts out, because it's just using this system and not going off the fridge. It tricks it now, which is great. So you can basically, if I run this at 8 days, which is the best that I got for it, if I trick it, let's say I could probably get another couple of days out of it, even 3. So you could potentially have a fridge running off this system for 11 days. Now let's just see how this thing goes, because I'm in a hotter temperature today. So I'm going to close it up because it's fully out in the sun at the moment. So I'll close it up so it's in the shade, because technically you're not going to have your fridge fully exposed to the sun anyway, unless you've got a different setup to me and it's inside your car. We've seen vehicles that have all those window protections in there that basically keep the heat out of the vehicle so the fridges can stay cooler for longer. So yeah, if you've got that sort of setup, then obviously the things are going to be a little bit different, I'd say, compared to my setup. Now I'm just going off my Ford Ranger. This is the Wildtrak, so it's got the roller shutter, so I usually shut that up, and it stays pretty cool. Now, if you didn't want to buy the DC to DC kit, you can actually just buy a solar panel. You can place it anywhere on the vehicle, on the roof racks, on your tray at the back, or whatever setup you've got, and you can charge this thing at 25 amps, maximum 25 amps. So that's probably about a 300 watt solar panel, I believe. Don't quote me on that either, but I think it's roughly around about that, that you can basically pump into that. Now you've got to, that would probably be your easiest option if you really wanted to do that, rather than having to wire everything up. All you've got to do is obviously set up your solar panel on the roof, get the wire from the solar panel just to the back of to wherever you place your battery, and just plug her in, and then obviously it's just going to charge itself up. So yep, just to say that again, if you want to find out any more information on this system, go to nomadpdu.com.au. I will leave it in the description below, or you can go to renewablebiz.com.au. My advantages for having this system is basically the size, the weight, the flexibility of it, and versatility. The power that you can get from this thing, and the discharge. If like the discharge rate, you can get up to 80% on this battery, whereas obviously you can only roughly get 50% on a AGM or a lead acid battery. And the major downfall for this basically setup that I've got is that you just can't put a big inverter on there. So if you're traveling with the missus and she wants to basically straighten her hair while she's out on the road, or you want to use a high powered device, you're not going to be able to use it with this battery. So that's just another thing to consider. All right there everyone, so hopefully that's been informative for you guys. I think this is a pretty great setup to have for the money. And if you like the video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Oh, by the way, yeah, I have a black thumbnail there. Managed to trap my thumb in the car door of my vehicle, so yeah, that was pretty painful, but luckily enough I didn't have to pierce it, and it didn't swell up. So yeah, it's pretty painful for the first few days, but it's pretty good now.
He had a very clumsy day.
I did, didn't I?
Shut his thumb in the door and stood on glass.
Yeah, so if you like what you've just seen, guys, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more around my vehicle as well, as to what setup I've got, like the roof rack on the back of the tray, and what boxes I'm using to travel with. And make sure you press that notification button so you're notified next time I put a video up. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.